What's up? This is Megan Mathy, and this is a Minute with Megan. And tonight we are here at the wonderful and beautiful Mechanics Hall with the new executive director. How are you?
Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Why don't you introduce yourself to Worcester?
So my name's Meghan Montaner, and I'm the new executive director here at Mechanics Hall.
All right, so aside from being this absolutely magnificent space, what is Mechanics Hall?
So Mechanics Hall is many things, but most importantly, it's a community space. So this hall was built and opened in 1857, and it was built by the Mechanics Association, and their intention was to have a space for the community to come together to learn, to educate tradesmen in the area as part of the Industrial Revolution, and to have a dialogue about current political topics. So the space, first and foremost, was about bringing the community together, having dialogue, having conversation, and now is more known for its performances. So we have all kinds of performances here, primarily music.
Cool. It's multi-level. Was it all one big ceiling at one point? Were there always this grand staircase?
There was. So it was built very intentionally. Everything in the hall when it was built was American built, American made, which is really actually unique at the time, including the organ that is here in the building, which is a very unique instrument to the space and to the region. That it's American made. Many of the organs came from other parts of the world, Germany in particular. And again, the mechanics were committed to everything being locally built and made and manufactured. So they made sure that that piece, they commissioned for it to be built here in the US. So we have multiple floors, multiple rooms, and the reason that the Great Hall is up a couple of floors, a lot of people don't know, they built these halls up higher on higher floors because at the time they were built, the roads were dirt and there were horses and carriages going by, and so literally to go up above the sound of the city.
Wow, I can't envision Worcester with horses and carriages. So that organ,
Hmm.
is that original?
Yes.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
And
It was installed a few years later. I've only been here for 2.5 weeks, so I'm,
that's
I'm
okay.
not going to know the exact date, but I think just a few years later, so maybe 1859, 1860. I could be getting that wrong, but yes.
How hard is it to find someone to maintain an organ?
We have an amazing resident organist, Peter Krasinski, who is beloved by so many in the community and by those here on the staff. And so he really works to maintain the instrument and make sure that it's in good shape, and is the key individual that plays the organ. Although we have guest artists coming in all the time. In fact, we had an incredible artist yesterday, Dr. Carol Williams, an internationally known organist who was playing here yesterday. And then in the next 2 weeks, on Wednesday at noon, we have two more free organ concerts. So
Wow,
it gets
that's
featured.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Do you know how many seats are in the Grand Hall?
So one of the great features about this space is that it's flexible. So right now it's set up for tables and chairs, so that because we had that organ event yesterday, people can come in, they can have a free concert, eat their lunch. We do brown bag concerts throughout the year too, which are free for the
Mm.
public. So it's often set up this way. It also is really flexible for events, weddings, corporate events. But then for more formal performances, the chairs are seated theater style.
Okay,
So at the max capacity, it's in that 1,300, 1,400 capacity. Yeah.
that's really neat. Now, what's up with all the pictures, the
Hmm.
portraits?
The portraits. I know a lot of people come in and they go, "Who are all these old dead people?" And no, no, no. These are really important people. Many of them were part of the original Mechanics Association, or they were highly revered by the Mechanics Association. And more recently, in the 90s, they added portraits of women. And just in the last couple of years, the hall undertook a major project, the Portraits Project, to make sure that people of color were also depicted on the walls and for their contributions to the hall. As I said, this space was intended to be a place for conversation and learning. And so it was a big part of the abolitionist movement in Worcester, the suffragist movement in Worcester. And so many important people came and spoke in this hall, including Frederick Douglass, which is one of the new portraits.
Okay, so question about the new portraits then. Were they like, did you get them from a historical society or were they painted recently by someone?
They were painted very recently. These were all specifically commissioned for the hall.
And do you know if the painters were from the Worcester area?
They were not necessarily from Worcester. They were from all over.
That's really cool. So, how many of these beautiful portraits are there?
We actually have more than 20 portraits that are typically in the hall. Right now, we have two that are in storage and two that are being restored. So,
Oh,
part of the portraits project was to restore all of the paintings in the hall. So, one by one or two by two, they're being taken down. And actually, in a front room here in the building, there's an artist who's been coming in and cleaning and restoring the portraits.
that's really neat. It's
And
got
then
like a
throughout
museum.
it is. It does feel that way. And there are more portraits throughout the hall as well that are not in this room. So you'll see them in the lobby as well.
Is there specific placement or could these portraits be interchanged with other locations or like are the core people here?
Sure. When they did the portraits project, they were very careful in how they decided to rearrange the portraits. So they had stood in the same spots for many, many years. But with adding new portraits, some were taken down and then they were rearranged to have a very specific connection to one another. So sort of a curated portrait experience.
They're really neat.
Yeah.
This whole room just kind of gives you goosebumps
Mm.
because it's so magnificent and wonderful.
Yeah. I keep saying if these walls could talk because
Yeah,
they truly
seriously.
have seen and heard so much over the course of the last 168 years.
So I know you've only been here about 2 weeks. What has been the most fun for you so far as the executive director?
Um, I guess I would say I'm going to say two things. One would be meeting the staff. This is an incredible team of people who work here, and every single one of them had mentioned in my first meetings with them how much they love the building. And there is just this real love for the building and the history of Mechanics Hall that every single one of them shares. So they've been an incredible team and so welcoming. And the other, I have to say, yesterday, it was my first event at the hall. We had a tour. We're now doing monthly tours. We have one coming up on Wednesday, September 3rd.
Mark your
Yeah,
calendars.
mark your calendar. So that'll be coming up soon, and that's going up on our website so you can sign up for the tour. So we had one of those yesterday, led by volunteer docents who were doing an incredible job trying to tell the story of the hall. And immediately after, one of the free concerts for the organ that I mentioned. So I was able to get up on stage and welcome people. Um, and just watching this instrument get played and hearing it reverberate off the walls and seeing the crowd of every generation. You know, we had like a newborn infant that someone brought in, a mother brought in this little baby and she was there with her mother as well, and then grandparents bringing children and others. So it was a wonderful experience, and just was really proud to be a part of this institution.
I love that. I was going to ask actually, like how is Mechanics Hall keeping the younger generation involved?
Mm.
Because a lot of people might feel like, oh, there's video games or whatever that's more interesting, but this is magnificent. I'm going to keep saying it. So I'm glad to hear that it's multi-generational,
Yeah.
that people get to experience and embrace this really cool space.
Mhm. Yeah, one of our key initiatives is called Many Voices Youth Singers. And so a few years ago, the hall started a free children's choir for grades 4 through 8. And so over the course of the year, kids from Worcester, all over Worcester County, can be a part of this choir. And they have an incredible choral conductor named Reagan Paris, who, when I was considering coming to the hall, I thought, okay, what's the next event? I want to go see something. I want to go in the space and see how it feels. And that was the next upcoming event, was a Many Voices concert. And I walked in and there were all these beautiful kids up on stage, and Reagan was so electric, and his passion was just coming out of him on into the audience across the stage. And it was a really incredible event. And so all of these kids not only had access to arts programming and mentorship, but then they got the chance to perform on stage in this incredible historic
Yeah.
place.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I don't sing and I want to sing on this stage. That's really cool.
And that's all headed up by Chris Carney, our amazing education and outreach manager. And he's done an incredible job building understanding of what that program is and trying to get more kids involved and get support for it. So we're hoping to expand that. And we're going to have a Discovery Day coming up in October. I think it's Sunday, October 5th, but you should check our website. And it's a chance for any interested families to come and learn more about the choir.
Cool. So you've mentioned, the organ player, you've mentioned a choir conductor, you have yourself. Who takes care of the space?
Sure. We have an incredible team. There are 4 full-time members of our facilities team, and they are hard at work every single day, making sure that this incredible historic landmark on the
Sure.
National Registry, is in tip-top shape. And that is no easy feat. Because
These are high ceilings.
yes, very high ceilings. And anyone out there who has, an older home understands it takes a lot of upkeep and just, updating systems. But we also do a lot of events. And so they're constantly turning spaces over from, sometimes 1 hour to the next.
Wow.
And then we have a full-time staff, just under 15 people, and then many more part-time folks who either work in the office or work events. So a lot of event staff.
Okay.
And volunteers. We have somewhere between 50 and 60 volunteers, and we're looking for more. So if you're interested in volunteering, check out our website because it'll be a great season to join us. And they just kind of revamped the volunteer program with incentives too when you come in and volunteer.
Cool.
So yeah, a really great team that are all stewards of the hall.
I really like that. So Megan, aside from coming down here and actually knocking on the door and seeing the space, how can people get in touch? How can people get involved?
Sure. Our website, first of all, follow us on social media,
Okay.
please.
What's your handle?
At Mechanics Hall.
Okay.
Very
Nice and easy.
Yeah. So please check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, follow us. I promise it won't flood your feed. It'll be a delight every time you see a post from us. And then the next thing would be go to our website, look at the events that are coming, visit the hall, and then the single most important thing somebody could do is become a member.
Okay. What does that look like?
We have memberships that start just at $65 for an individual. For seniors, you can get a membership for $45. Which is a really, really great way to support the hall and to make sure that this building is around for another 168 years.
Okay, and what does a member, what are the benefits of becoming a member?
Sure, you get invited to certain special Mechanics Hall events. You can get discounts on some of the tickets to events. For example, we have this great Club 321, which is sort of this nightclub thing.
Okay,
yes,
I'm listening.
There's one every single month that takes place in Washburn Hall, and the hall is transformed into sort of this hip, cool nightclub vibe.
Love that.
Which is this whole different atmosphere than what you get in the Great Hall. And so we have local musicians that get booked throughout the season. And again, once a month, ticket price is very affordable. We're talking, under $30 to come in and have a great night of music. So that's a great way to support, and also members get benefits and discounts at events like that.
That's really cool. I definitely perked up when you said nightclub because this is a really cool place.
Yeah. It's a little one of the key components of the Mechanics Association back in 1857. One of the key topics that they talked about was temperance, which was about not supporting alcohol and making sure that folks were turning away from alcohol. So sometimes we feel a little guilty with the fact that we do now serve alcohol in the hall. They probably wouldn't be happy with that, but it does help with the nightclub vibe for sure.
These guys are rolling over in their grave.
Apparently, but I think that they would forgive us.
Yeah,
it helps us to keep the lights on.
Of course. Are you able to give us a quick tour?
Sure.